All right, WMFO in Medford. Let me tell you what I just played there. We started with Motorbike, a song called Afraid of Guns. From their release Kick It Over, Sprints, a song called Ashley. From the Manifesto EP. And you just heard Chris Johnson, Badlands. That song initially was on her Talk, Talk, Talk release. This is obviously an acoustic version with Casey Dawson on it. So, great stuff there. I think Carissa has something full length lined up for later this summer or some point this year. But anyway, I'm here with Ryan. Thanks for coming in, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. You know Carissa well.
I do. Yes. I played drums for her for about a year, not too long ago.
Nice. So you got a lot of stuff going on, but I start with the old back in the day thing. How old were you when you said to yourself, I want to kind of make music, like make music to put out to the ethers, like make it a serious thing?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's been a lifelong pursuit. I started playing the drums at a very young age, and it just seemed like I had no choice in the matter. I was just banging on things, you know. It was, and so I did that for a while. I always had bands in high school and such. Started learning how to play the guitar in high school because I couldn't really write songs on the drums.
yeah.
And
right. I that'd be interesting. I wonder if anyone as strictly on drums.
Hey, I'd be down to see.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
But
it's percussion.
Mm-hmm.
You can get something cool going. Blue Man Group, man.
Right.
Yeah, they rock it. So then just started writing songs, and ever since then, really been pursuing it. I feel like by the time my 20s hit, I had some projects that were actually releasing formal music online and playing shows. Actually started out in a rap group.
Okay.
I've always liked writing songs, but I've never been the best singer. So I started rapping. Actually, my rap group started when I was like 10 in 5th grade.
And is that because you figured you don't have to be a great singer to rap?
No.
So you figured I can.
Exactly. And I was, I loved the rhythm aspect because I was a drummer. And so I did that for a while. And then I started a band with my best friends that we had a band in high school, but then we made like a more indie pop band in my mid-20s that started out kind of like rap-y pop, but then I kept just trying to sing, and I kept doing it more and more until the rap kind of went away. And then I had that band all the way up until 2020. I mean, my best friends left the band, as a lot of band leaders know,
Yeah, it's hard to keep a band together.
Yeah, not everyone wants to do it forever and
right.
and as vigorous as I enjoy doing it. So just replaced a lot of members, and then really found something beautiful every time I replaced the members. But by the time 2020 and COVID hit and kind of shut everything down, I was pretty exhausted. Just trying to drive the whole thing, and it becomes quite the grind, a beautiful grind, but when it's not going where you hope it's going to go, it kind of takes a toll. And so I've just never been able to quit on music. I just love doing it so much. So I returned to my first love, which is the drums, and I just started reaching out to every artist I knew, Carissa being one of them, and I just played for anybody that would have me, and I had a magical couple of years playing drums.
So is that like what time frame? What year was that? Like,
so that was 2020.
Shortly after the COVID hit,
right?
You kind of not branched out, but you started drumming for various people.
Yep, I started doing the TikTok thing with the drums because no venues were open,
right.
And then venues started open. I joined a cover band, and we played down on Cape Cod in the bars during the summer, and started reaching out to artists. I played for a bunch, played for a couple rap artists, which was a lot of fun, just every different kind. And it was a beautiful thing because I didn't have the energy to drive a project at the time.
Solo.
I needed to take a break. I needed to get rid of all my bad habits, in the studio and out of the studio. And so just kind of being along for the ride with other people.
And it must have helped. It sounds like you played for various genres too.
Yeah.
Like kind of like anyone that would take a drummer, you're like, I'm your guy, I'll fit the bill.
As long
Would
as
it
it's
be
not
your-
metal or jazz, I could do it. Yeah,
jazz.
or maybe
Jazz is, and again, I don't knock any genre. It's just not
No.
my thing.
Yeah, I
but
respect
one,
them all, but-
one of the you're never going to hear me play jazz tunes.
My brain doesn't work like that. No, my brain works in even numbers and a lot of 4/4.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it was beautiful. Even went to Paris and played with Carissa, which was definitely a highlight of that period.
So how long? What had she just put out that you were playing with? I'm trying to think of that time.
I don't think she was touring
She
a
hadn't
new
put-
record. The Blue Hour stuff,
Mhm.
the deluxe was out,
Yeah.
I think, around that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, she just doesn't stop gigging. So, you know,
I know.
We were just gigging all over. I was out in New York a lot, which was fun. And then honestly, it was Carissa who I was with. She played that festival out in, wherever, West Quincy or something.
around here.
Yeah.
I
And
might have been at. I was
I think I
probably.
might have met you there.
I was probably there.
But her old drummer, got back into the picture. The Cure-Alls were
Yeah.
back in the picture. I ended up playing tambourine with her at that show. And
Oh, okay.
on the Uber ride back from that show, I was like, I'm ready to dive into my own thing again. I really missed being in the driver's seat. And so I ordered my acoustic guitar in the Uber home from that gig.
You'd taken that as far as you wanted to go, and you were like, all right, I want to get back to maybe
Yeah.
getting my own stuff out.
That's kind of what it was, you know. I wasn't in control, which in the beginning was a beautiful thing, and then
Yeah.
towards the end, it started to be like, all right, I'm ready to set out again, and yeah, ordered that guitar and started writing. And I had never stopped writing, but I was always just kind of messing around. And then I started recording the songs again, and those were all the songs that I released last year. I just started releasing at least a
Did the
song a month.
2024 release?
Yep, it was August 2023 when I played that festival with Carissa and
Mhm.
ordered that guitar and started producing right away, and then released my first song in January of 2024. Yeah, I released 2 songs.
And the record was the record called Life, Love, and You.
Yeah, and then it all culminated into my debut album, which for a long time it had always been the goal. You know, I had bands and rap groups, all
Mhm.
that, for years and years, but I had never put out an album. I always held that up to a very high standard. It was always the goal with the project, but it just
Yeah.
never quite got there. And so yeah, I took that whole 2024 to kind of slowly release it a song at a time, and built up the project, and then I released it in October of
Yeah,
last year.
that seems to be the norm. People put singles out, and that eventually becomes either an EP or a full length. But yeah, they generally put singles out, and then it's all put in one place that you can find it.
And with people's attention spans these days, definitely a single at a time is.
Yeah, well,
the way to
that's
go.
interesting, and that's a radio thing too, right? Like you want to, and I think there's a fine line. Like you want to, if you put a single out, then obviously you're going to be kind of constantly on the, well, for lack of a better word, the airwaves, the web streams, whatever it is that music's on nowadays. But as opposed to just dropping the whole release, but
Which is actually what I want to do with this next album, which is a ridiculous thing.
No,
for
no, it's
somebody
a
in
good
my position.
No,
to
it's a
do.
people. I just had a guy that just did that because the only thing I think you can go either way. Drop a couple singles, put the record out, just hit the record all at once. But the thing what you probably don't want to do is put out like the entire album in singles. Because then when the
Right.
album drops, it's like, well, it's all been heard before.
Exactly. Yeah. So I saved
So
3.
you do
the
one or the
album,
other.
right when I released it, the first 3 hadn't been heard.
Yeah.
They were brand new. Right. Exactly.
That was on your.
on the debut.
But
Yeah.
now you're thinking about maybe just dropping this one though.
I really wanted to do that because the team I'm working with to help promote this record, and they were like, that's not the best idea. So I settled for one single. So I'm releasing one song, which comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the record drops next month.
We'll play that in a bit, but yeah. So the first release, was that just done by you? Did you have other players involved? I know you had a couple guest people involved, but did you do all the instrumentation and was it just done in your like house?
Yeah. I have a home studio, which is my favorite place in the world, and yeah, I had a lot of friends come through. I mean, I play all the instruments myself mostly, like the drums and guitar and such, but
Did you have to learn anything for
this particular album, no.
for the first one?
I had been learning the whole
You knew
time, kind of thing. I'm actually bad at learning new things. I probably should learn some new chords and spice up the next record. But I know how to play enough chords so I can write the tunes. And then like keyboards, I love keyboards. I can't play keyboards at all. I can play like two fingers. So I have a really good friend of mine. He came through.
So he helped out with that.
Keyboards. Yeah, actually, I got my old band back together for the first 2 songs on the record, which was super special.
Did it take a long time to put this together?
Which one?
The first one.
It did, because I was really focusing a song at a time. It wasn't the album until the very end. I knew I was kind of hoping that I was working towards that, but I just set out with the goal, like, just start releasing music again without any expectation. And then I did set the goal of, like, well, at least a song a month, which I stuck to. And so it took a while because I wanted it to. I kind of, the debut album was a I wanted to do that justice. So I did take my time with that, yeah.
So is everything you sent me on your sophomore release? Is it?
Yeah, those are all brand new tunes, yeah.
But it's okay to give them a spin here.
That's why I sent them to you, yep.
We'll do that then. I'll play a couple, then we'll come back and talk. We'll save the one you're putting out till the end.
Cool.
But we'll play a couple and we'll be back and talk a bit more about the new stuff. All right, that was Circles, WMFO in Medford. Listen to Rising with Skybar. That was Circles off the upcoming Bandit by... Do you use your full name? Is it Ryan John Clary? Or,
yes, sir.
Okay. I was like, all right. Yeah, so that's the upcoming Bandit. How'd you come up with the name Bandit for the name of the album? Is it in one of the lyrics somewhere?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I came up with the title early on, like right before I kind of started diving into the album. This whole thing happened kind of quick. Long story short, it's kind of ridiculous. It's like in the cold, I wear a bandana over my face a bit to keep my face warm.
So you look like a bandit.
So I look like a bandit, and so it was just, and then I heard that word, and I was like, oh, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's the vibe I'm on for this record, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. And are there going to be, and again, this was all done at the home studio?
Yes, sir. All of it.
And it's coming out the end of May?
May 30th, yeah.
Is it going to be just digital?
Man, if I thought people would buy physical, I'd totally print physical. I may still do it for the debut just so I have it, because it's a dream. But someone sold me a CD the other day, and I bought it to support the artist. But then I was like, what the hell am I going to do with this thing?
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. But
I still do CDs and vinyl, and but obviously it's a monetary thing. You're not going to, I imagine, crank out a bunch of CDs like you said if people are just going to stream things, and
it'd be me spending a lot of money,
right,
to have something cool. But I really just need people to listen to it, and I feel like the internet's the easiest way.
Yeah, that's one of the...
Vinyl would be sick though. Vinyl would be cool.
Well, that's one of the... We were talking off air about the new age of music and how things now with the internet are so accessible, but it's almost like you have to sift through things to find it. So a lot of I'm torn on the digital thing. I download a ton of music, and that's this guy Craig Finn of the Hold Steady, big band. I think just put out. I think I just played it earlier in this show. I think his new release is strictly digital. So whatever works. So, but as of now, you're thinking digital and see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, if people want physical, let me know. I'll print them. But
was there any sort of theme to this album in total, or was it?
Yeah, very much so. And I don't know how heavy-handed I want to promote it, but I think just like a lot of people these days, like what's going on in the world and everything, it just causes a lot of stress and anger and a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of people,
turmoil and a lot of people struggling with anxiety.
100%. Yeah, and I work in mental health,
and you know better than
I serve a lot of beautiful people, and a lot of people are being targeted and getting their rights stripped, and it's and then instead of turning to the internet or lashing out, and I just kind of channeled all that anxiety and energy into this record. Yeah, so it's all kind of born out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing though, that people are writing music about the times.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, and like, you know, I had that name Bandit, and I was like, all right, that's a vibe. Like, that's definitely a vibe for the next record. And I had some songs I'd been working on, and then it wasn't until I saw that Timothée Chalamet Bob Dylan movie like a couple months ago, whenever it came on streaming, and I was very inspired. I mean, the movie's incredible, but I was just very inspired, like, by that folk movement back in that day, and that was the cherry on top. And I was like, oh, that I know exactly. And then I just dove into the studio and just spent the last couple of months making this record. But I think folk music's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it's very much what I'm inspired by, among other things. But just kind of getting back to that, you know, and like be the voice and stand up for what we believe in through song. I think it's important.
Oh, I do
now,
too.
especially, but always has.
That's great. So you were saying that the first album took a while. Was this quicker?
Yeah, man. I'm not to pat myself on the back super hard, but I'm very proud of myself and the way I produced this album. I didn't always I've been self-producing my own stuff for like the last over 10 years or about, yeah, and it wasn't always in the healthiest way. The earlier days, it was like a lot of relying on substances and such, and it was more like a binge method. I would, you know, go into the studio for 24 to 48 hours nonstop, and that's when I was doing the bulk of my work. And that was a big thing why, like, taking that break away from that stuff and shifting to the drums and just clearing my head of all that, I was able to re-enter the studio.
Sounds like you had to, like, decompress.
Yeah, and I had to learn how to make music healthy. If anybody knows, like, you know, when you're in the studio and being a producer for yourself, it just takes a lot of energy and focus that I don't always have. But with this record, I was able to get focused. I'm actually getting married next month, so I was like, I want to bang this album out.
Got a lot going on,
and then I can get to the wedding. So I wanted to get it all done. And I'm super proud of the project. Yeah.
Next month, are you getting married? Are you getting married about the release date?
A week before the release.
Okay.
I wanted to release it that week, but I was like, nah, I should really wait. So yeah, I'll be on my honeymoon when it comes out.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right, you'll be away. Where you going for your honeymoon?
I'm going to Peru.
So you'll be in Peru.
I'll be in Peru when this record
hits.
comes out. Yeah, which would be great.
Wow.
I mean, like, and it's shout out to my fiance who's been like busting her butt planning this wedding while I've been upstairs writing and producing this album.
Hunkered down 24 hours. Don't leave me alone. I'll be down. I'll be down tomorrow. The next day.
Yeah, exactly.
You got this. You just tell me when to show up.
Right.
Where I gotta be.
I got my suit.
And meanwhile, I'm busy recording.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the song that's the first single, I guess. Right.
That would be What Can We Do?
Which is that this Friday?
That comes out this Friday, yeah.
Here you go. What Can We Do? All right. That was Better Cut of Cloth. And before that, What Can We Do? From Bandit, off of Bandit, the new Ryan release. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Do you, you going to play out with this? Are you going to bring this on the...
I'd love to.
Do you do a lot of acoustic, just yourself shows, or do you do with band?
I would love a band. Right now, I do it myself. Again, very inspired by Carissa because she does it all. You know, she can do it on her own, and she does it with a band. And so I love that freedom. Trying to get to the point where people want to play with me. You know. So I would love to do a band. Right now, it's just me and an acoustic guitar. If it's a bigger set, I've also been bringing out like a stage looper and a drum machine to kind of...
fill in some things.
Yeah, but I miss being up there with my friends for sure. So if there's any drummers or bass players out there, hit me up.
Yeah.
And I would love to play out as much as possible. So if any of those promoters that I've been emailing like crazy want to answer my emails, feel free to do so.
I'll try and this is in my loop now, so it'll be I'll be spinning it for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And yeah, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. This is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, my pleasure. I don't know if you want to. Oh, is Be Nice Records? Was that like poor name for your record label? Is that a record label?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
just me.
that's
That's
just
me.
you?
I mean, I have had
thought it was funny.
friends signed to it, and just really helping them with visuals and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But right now, and for a while, it's been just me. Yeah.
But when you put something on, you got to put something on it, right? So you got to put some sort of
and
label
I've
on it.
always
It's
loved that idea. I would love to grow the label one day, for sure. It's definitely something I'm passionate about. I love producing music for other people, too. I think that's a very fun thing. And there's a lot of good music, and I have a lot of talented friends. So
Yeah.
definitely hoping to have more Be Nice Records releases this year.
Very good. Very good. Thanks for coming in. Good luck with the wedding.
Thank you.